Flamingo Books. Shining English Reader. Series 7. Chapter 13. The Restless Genie. Rajappa Chethiar stood on his front porch looking at the clouds gathering in the distant hills. He was a worried man. His fields were untilled, the tanks silted over and the canals blocked. If the rains came before he could get the land ready, there would be no harvest once more. Last year had been terrible. The drought that stalked the land had driven away all his workers and tenants to the cities. Now his land lay desolate and uncared for. Somehow he managed to harvest a little food for the household with the help of Muniswami, the only servant left. He remembered when the land was lush and green. Trees dotted the landscape and the fields had been filled with waving paddy. As Rajappa looked around sadly at the brown and scorched land, he saw an old man walking up the dusty road. He seemed to have come a long way. His matted hair and orange clothes proclaimed him a holy person. Rajappa felt nervous. How would he entertain him? He would expect much from such a big house, yet there was hardly anything in the house. "Nalama, there is a holy man coming towards our house," he called out to his wife. "Do find something decent for him to eat. Ask Muniswami to get a pot of water from the barrel for him to wash." There was little water in the well and Muniswami walked miles to find water for use in the house. Nalama, as her name indicated, was a good woman. She bustled around getting ready for the guest. By the time the old man came up to the house, Rajappa was waiting at the door to welcome him while Muniswami stood with a pot of water. Inside the house, Nalama had placed a freshly plucked and washed banana leaf in front of a polished plank in the courtyard in the middle of the house. She stood with a glass of refreshing buttermilk flavored with ginger and curry leaves. The holy man was impressed with the couple's hospitality in these difficult times. Washing off the dust from his journey, the holy man sat down to his meal. No one said anything till he had satisfied his hunger and quenched his thirst. "I hope the good one will forgive the simple meal. The crops haven't been very good in these parts," said Rajappa. "I've never eaten a tastier meal," declared the holy man. "However, you seem a bit worried. What is the matter?" "Oh, why should I worry you with my small problems? You must be very tired. Would you like to rest?" asked Rajappa. Finally the holy man persuaded Rajappa to tell him what was troubling him. When Rajappa had poured out his woes, the holy man said, "Don't worry, I think I have a solution for your problem. I will teach you a mantra that will help you. If you repeat it with faith and reverence in your heart, a genie will appear. He will be able to do all your work for you. But mind you, he needs to be kept occupied constantly." On hearing this, Rajappa's heart lightened. The holy man taught him the mantra and went away. The next day Rajappa closed his eyes and uttered the mantra and waited. Just as he was wondering if there was anything in it, he heard a slight cough behind him. He turned to find a tall, whiskered being with wide shoulders and legs like pillars standing with his hands crossed on his chest. "What can I do for you?" he asked. Rajappa just stared up at him in surprise. He couldn't utter a word. "Come on," said the apparition. "Hurry up and let me know. If you don't give me work soon, I'm afraid I'll have to destroy you. That is my nature." That got Rajappa out of his trance and he quickly thought of all the jobs to be done on his land. He listed some of them. The canals have to be cleared, the tanks desilted and wells dug. Then the fields have to be plowed and tilled, the coconut trees watered and manured. Rajappa had hardly finished when Brahmarakshasa, that was the apparition's name, set off to work. Rajappa ran into his wife and told her excitedly, "Listen, the mantra actually works. The genie appeared and he has gone to do the work. I have given him enough for at least a week. But we have to think of something more for him to do. He said he would eat me up if I did not give him work to do." As the evening lamp was being lit by Nalama, Rajappa relaxed on the swing in the courtyard. He felt good at the thought that all his troubles were over. Just then who should come in through the door but Brahmarakshasa, wiping his forehead with his towel. He stood in front of Rajappa and said, "I've done all that you asked me to do. Now give me something else to do or else I'll have to eat you up." Rajappa jumped up from the swing in astonishment. "You've already done all that? Goodness me, well, maybe you could sow the fields and repair all the fences." Rajappa's land spread over many acres and villages. So he thought all this would take at least 2 days even for the genie. However, next morning he found all the work over and the genie standing in front of him demanding more work. He got houses built for his tenants and roads made in the village, trees planted in his orchards and everything he could think of. Finally, one day he called his wife Nalama and told her, "You had better say goodbye to me. Soon that fiend is going to come to me and ask for work and I cannot think of a single thing for him to do. So he will surely destroy me." "Oh, do not talk like that. When the genie comes to you next, send him to me," said Nalama. "I'll give him something to do which will keep him occupied for a long, long time." "That's what you think," said Rajappa. Anyway, he did as his wife told him and sent the genie to her. Nalama cut a lock of her curly hair and gave it to the genie and told him to straighten it. Such a small job, thought the genie and sat down under a shady tree to straighten the curly lock. He pressed it between his palms but when he held it up the lock of hair was curly again. He rolled it on his pillar-like thigh, he ironed it with his fists and pressed it under a boulder. But no matter what he did the lock curled up again. He was so upset at not being able to do the job that he took the hair and went and sat on the top of the peepal tree to work in peace and quiet. Rajappa thanked his clever wife for saving him. Soon the workmen and the villagers came back to work on the land and they lived happily ever after. As for that restless genie, he is still up on that tree trying to straighten out Nalama's lock of curly hair.